Next up for Psycho for Tyco, we're going to take this Tyco / Mantua GP20, and for the Western Pacific project, we are going to make this GP20 right here. Western Pacific number 2004, and that is next on Psycho for Tyco.
From Tyco, of course.
Okay, as I said earlier, before the intro, this is a Tyco / Mantua GP20. This is actually a Tyco GP20, and it's just your standard run-of-the-mill dime a dozen GP20, and this is the newer-ish. This is the Mantua's GP20 drive right here, which is DCC ready. So I'm still looking for a decoder for the right sound, but as you can see here, there's a lot of room to put a decoder, speakers, what have you. It does have a flywheel drive, which is nice. I already pulled the lights out from it because, as you can see from this postcard, which I'm basically working off of, 2004 had barrel headlights. Now the parts that I'm going to use for conversion on this is a Bachmann GP9 dynamic brake, this 3D printed winterization hatch, which I have to shorten down so it will fit properly behind this 48-inch fan. The fans I'm going to keep. I'm going to redo the stack with the Details Associates GP20 exhaust, and also Details Associate Pile Large Barrel Headlight. So those will be the modifications, almost all the modifications that I'll be doing on this. Now, of course, the other thing is Western Pacific's GP20s were high hoods. So I'm going to be taking this Atlas shell, which happens to be a high hood, and we're going to splice the SD24 hood on here. Now, the reason I'm using this versus the Tyco version here has steam generators. We don't want steam generators on here. And to do this as Tyco as possible, so one of the things we're going to be doing with the splicing is we're going to make this as Tyco as possible, and we're going to use the Tyco Model Railroad Manual. These are collector's items. I know they were reissued, but under a different name. These come up on eBay occasionally. This is still my go-to book, even though almost everything is outdated. But as far as the cab splicing goes, this is pretty good. So we'll just go ahead and we'll figure out where it is. And there it is. But as you can see here, this is the Tyco's SD24. It's got the steam generators on here. Now, I'm finding out these molded on steam generators are a pain in the tuchus, and they don't want to file down smooth for whatever reason. That's why I switched from Tyco F7s to the Bachmann F7s. Not only that, they have the doors already in. The Tyco ones don't. I was just having too many problems with these. I was having too many problems with the Tyco ones. I saw the Bachmanns, which are closer to the Highliner Fs, which are much more detailed. I got a Walther's Super Detailing Kit on here. Feels like the paint's still wet on that one. I'm waiting on the power drive for one, but I've got the Athearn dummy drive for the other, which I will be putting this on, one of the shells anyway. And the only thing I'm going to be doing with the dummy unit is I'm going to be putting a speaker with plugs in, no lights, and I gotta file off these tabs of the ladders because these ladders don't match up. So yeah, I got one dummy unit. I'm waiting on one more powered unit, and the Fs will become 2 of the Fab 4. Anyways, we're going to go back to this. We're going to go ahead and I'll discuss the details on changing out the cabs, which is going to be the primary focus of this video. Alright, so the cab splicing basically starts on page 68 of the Tyco manual. And it shows the 2 techniques. The first cut with the razor saw is going to be right here at the step line. And then the second cut, let's go back to this. Second cut's going to be right behind the cab line. So here all the way down, here all the way down. Same with this. Here all the way down, here all the way down. I still got a few things to remove off of here. I do believe this cab is one piece. I hope it's one piece. So we're going to cut those. We're going to use our wonderful MEK disguised as Plastruck plastic welder. We're going to seal these together, and then we're going to go ahead, we're going to start accessorizing to make Western Pacific number 2004. Okay, I always say mistakes made are lessons learned, and one thing I discovered while doing the cutting is both these blades are dull as my narration. So what happens with a dull blade, especially when it's a saw blade, is they tend to walk. They don't tend to give nice sharp cuts anymore. And so when I was splicing the new hood on, it walked. Now I've been able to do some filing, fitting, and filling. And I'm going to have to sand a few things down and add a little bit of putty to some extra cracks and holes. But the good news is it's salvageable, which really is good news because I only had one Atlas SD24 hood. I got a bajillion of these, but only one of these. So we were able to fix it. We were able to rescue it, which is good news. Now I just got to fill in a couple of holes with some putty, sand this down, and then we can get back to accessorizing. So yeah. All right. So I've gone ahead and I've puttied up a lot of the holes and spots on here. We're not going to do anything else with this until tomorrow night. I have to go to Hobby Lobby and I have to get some new razor saws because these are toast. And I don't want to make any more cuts until I get some fresh blades. That's first, foremost, and paramount. However, like I said, I was able to salvage the cab and the gaps. I did a rather good job of it, and I think when I get it painted, it's not going to be noticeable as long as I don't keep overdoing it. So, yeah, cue SpongeBob. Hey friends, I know you're at the end of the video and all that, but I just wanted to give a quick shout out that if you're in Carson City or any of the surrounding neighborhoods, come on down to Mills Park where the Carson City Railroad Association, my model railroad club, happens to be at. We've got both HO scale and N scale. We run modular displays. We also have, during the summer months, a 2-foot tourist railroad that kind of goes around half the park. Membership fee is about $35. If you want to run some trains, come on down. Just let us know. Link in the description, and the link is right here at the bottom. And have a good one. I'm Psycho for Tycho. We'll see you next time. My God, I got it right.